Have you ever noticed as we get older, the more and more negative experiences we come across? And I have noticed from not just within myself, but outside of me, a lot of people experience many of these negative things and they just tend to pile on inside of us. We bottle up these emotions and push them down deeper. We take these negative experiences and just pack them tighter and tighter, trying to throw them away. We have a tendency of wanting to just get rid of them. Just, I don't want to deal with this, and just throw it away, toss it away. Does it really go anywhere? What I've noticed is that it does, but not really where you think. These negative things we just try to throw away get thrown in a metaphorical trash can within ourselves. And the more we bring in and not deal with, the more that we suppress, the more compacted this stuff gets. And eventually, we can't compact anymore. And it starts to overflow, or maybe at some point just explode everywhere. And it seems as if life just topples down. There's a lot of this going around. So, what's exactly going on? Well, I think it's a lack of knowing how to truly let go of these things. Instead of piling down more and more, trying to bottle away these emotions, what seems to be what works is actually dealing with them, bringing them up and letting them flow. When it comes to these emotions, there is something of the power of letting go. Let's start with this first. Everything is emotional. Our brain compiles things in a category of emotions. Things that felt really good, things that felt very pleasurable, things that felt very painful. We don't really have much memory or power memory. We don't have much desire to really remember things like, what is the exact date that George Washington signed this thing, or blah, blah, blah. Like, it takes a lot of energy to try and memorize those things, numbers, statistics, all that. But emotions, now that is very easy to remember. You can easily remember a super cringy memory that happened back in middle school. That first time that you got pantsed in the locker room, or something that you said that was very cringy and the room was like, that joke wasn't funny, sort of thing. Or something that was very painful. First time you broke your arm, or first time you had your crush reject you, or a broken heart. Or maybe the first time that you got married. These emotions are powerful and tend to really leave a lasting impact within our mind. We don't have to memorize them. They just get embedded into our mind because the emotion is so powerful. Now, that is a good thing to look at, because all these mental fruit, as I'm going to call them, have emotional roots. So, for example, insecurity of something comes from fear. Fear and anxiety of not being good enough, of being judged, fear of failure, and all that sort of things. Another note that I'm going to look at is procrastination, specifically. That's the fear of failure and fear of judgment and fear of not being good enough. So, if we try to tackle these issues by just dealing with the symptoms, dealing with the fruit that fall from the tree, you're going to always have to come back. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. You're not going to get rid of the problem. For example, if you go to the doctor for a bunch of migraines, you're not going to go to the doctor and be like, hey doc, I have migraines. Give me some meds. Well, of course you're going to go in there for meds, but you're going to go in there for the main reason of finding out, doc, why am I having migraines? And how can I stop it? So what we need to do is get to the core of the issue. Now, how do we get to the core of this issue? What is the core of these emotional issues? I'm going to give a little anecdote. The inner child temper tantrum. Imagine the playground at a school. You have a bunch of kids running around playing. It's a lot of wild energy going around. Now one kid pushes another, and he falls on the ground and scrapes his knee. He's hurt, but he's more mad than anything. And he goes up, and both of them are screaming at one another, screaming at the adult, at, let's just say you, for example, trying to say, he pushed me, well, he started it, and all that. No matter how logical you go into the situation of breaking it down for them, the kids don't really care. They're very emotional and pretty irrational at this point in their life. And no matter what you say, they're going to feel those emotions, and they're going to be all over the place feeling. And especially an experience that I've had as a kid was, once I was able to just cry, scream, yell, get all those emotions out, and just fully feel what I was feeling, then the kids, or me as a kid, we were able to go up to our friends and actually see things logically once we let the emotions completely flow through us. And we were able to go up to our friends and say, I see that I was the one at fault, and I'm sorry. So, but we don't tend to do that these days. As adults, we are not allowed to feel our emotions, to cry, to scream, to yell, to really let our emotions out, because that's not what an adult does. So, just out of habit, we push these emotions down instead of feeling them. So, the solution to getting rid of the emotions that you've bottled up is just feeling them. Easier said than done. So in the next section, I'm going to tell you about a technique that can be done to easily and safely bring in your emotions that you want to deal with and allow them to flow. It essentially is, you choose an emotion, you sit with it until it runs its course. So, I'll meet you in the next section. So, here is the 8-step technique that'll be able to help you remove and let go of any emotions that you're still holding on to. So, first, before you begin, you want to start with the preparation stage, step 0. So, to prep for this technique, first, set aside any and all expectations and judgments that you have during, before, and after the experience. So go ahead and find a quiet place to do this with no distractions, no noise, and find a place that you can be silent and still for a little while. Make sure to turn off your phone or put it on silent if you want to use it for music. Meditation music is definitely very powerful for this, to help you get into the right, relaxed mindset, if that's what works for you. So, starting off with step 1, take a comfy position and relax your body. You can do this however you want. Do some deep breaths, do some muscle relaxing where you tense your hands and then release them, tense your arms and then release them, etc., etc. Then step number 2, do 6 rounds of holotropic breathing, which is 6 breaths or 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. If you can't do 6 seconds, then do as deeply as comfortable as possible. You want to be able to get a nice deep breath, because the deep and slow breaths has helped to slow down your heart rate, which then slows down your body. So, also a fun little note, 6 rounds of 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, 6, 6, 6. So, step number 3, bring up something that you want to let go of. Step number 4, immediately see how you feel. Name the emotion that you were feeling. The emotion. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling angry, anxious, paranoid, distracted? What exactly are you feeling in this moment? If you name it, then it's easier to release it. Then, step number 5, localize where it is in your body. Try and find where it's coming from. Is it coming from the back of your head? Is it coming from your throat? Is it coming from your heart? Is it coming from your feet? Then, maybe even give it a color. Try and visualize exactly how it flows. The more visuals and descriptions you can give to this feeling, the better. So then step number 6, relax in it. Remain present in this feeling. Hold the non-judgment and let it flow. Feel the emotion and just sit with it. See where it takes you. Step number 7, sit with this emotion as long as you need. If a deeper emotion comes up, then repeat the previous steps. If another emotion comes up, name it. Try to feel exactly what you're feeling. Maybe even localize it, give it a color, and repeat again and again until you find the deepest emotion. Because sometimes when we pack a lot of things down, we pack things on top of other things. And some issues that we have can basically just be repeats of a more core issue. So step 8, continue to repeat this process until you feel like you've gotten to the core issue. And once you feel lighter, relaxed, more energetic, and free. To summarize the technique in 3 steps, get still, choose something, and sit with it until it goes away. Sit with it until it runs its course. Now, don't expect miracles in your first session. Trauma, deep emotions, deep baggage, all of these things take time. They're very complicated and need time to fully process. So give yourself that time to be able to let them process. So here are some 4 roadblocks that you can possibly encounter, and here are some things that you can do about them. The first roadblock is stopping too soon. So your ego and your instincts will want you to stop soon, because if it's too much, these emotions are pretty heavy, and the instinct is to, oh, this feels bad, I gotta stop. This feels painful, I gotta stop. But the thing is, imagine pain. If you're walking on the beach and the sand is really hot, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to ignore it being hot and it'll go away. No, you run off the sand and dunk your feet in the cold water. You do something about it. We need to do the same thing with emotions. With letting them go, we have to do something about them. So try and not to stop too soon. If you feel as if, oh, I think I've done enough, have you really? Ask yourself, have I really let this go fully? Do I really feel free from this? And try to sit with it longer. So, number 2, is this too simple? Our brains love things that are complicated because we are led to believe that complicated things are smart things. The complicated things are the right things. Occam's razor, my friend. The simplest answer is usually the right one. So, this letting go, just sitting with the emotion, letting the inside child of you, letting your child self, inner child, have its tantrum, feel the emotions, that really is the right answer. So don't get caught up on this being too simple. Just allow this to happen and you'll see amazing results. So number 3, resistance. Things like, oh, this is too boring, or this is a waste of time. I'm too busy for this. I can just do this later. Anticipate these feelings and try to not give in. Don't give up. Because if you actually go through and sit with these emotions, you'll actually experience some amazing things you will let go. It, again, just takes a little bit of time. And number 4, here's a tip: laughter. Learn to approach this resistance with a bit of humor. Have fun with it. Try to learn how to laugh at things. And I'm not saying laughing because it's so sad that you need to just laugh at it, but find the humor in life. Because if you can find the humor, it makes things lighter. It lightens the mood. Have you ever walked into a room and either there was, it's a sad place, a sad emotions, a lot of sad things going on, maybe even the doctor's office, where somebody's on their deathbed and somebody cracks a joke and everyone's like, oh, thank God, like this room is just full of very sad emotions. I wanted the mood to be lightened. So whenever you're in this emotional state, try and find the humor within it. That can help lighten things. So that was the technique, and those are the tips. I hope that you found these to be informative, and go ahead and give it a try now. I even have a meditation down below in the description, and I'll link it wherever you can find it in this video. And it should be able to link you to my most recent letting go meditation. It'll guide you through these exact steps into music that you can just allow yourself to be in with, and allow yourself to be with yourself and let these emotions have a place to flow. So thanks again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and go ahead and check out that video. Check out my other videos. Like if you enjoyed it, share if you want somebody else to see this, and if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.